Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. I know it's super late. I haven't gone this late. It's been a while. I think maybe it's been a couple months or something. Um, I had a streak of going early, and today I got caught up with stuff, and here we are. But I have a good topic for you today. I was gonna um, I was gonna talk about something else, but I'm not. I'm gonna and you're like, what? I'm gonna talk about that tomorrow. I had a couple of actually really three, but I had a two of very interesting conversations today, and really interesting conversations today. And I tell you, um, they 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 caught me by surprise. They did. They caught me by surprise, especially the second one. Um, really shook me up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, and it shook me up actually a whole lot. But and I will talk about those conversations in the next couple of days because I think it's important to talk about the feedback that I have from you from the conversations. But you know, conversations change. Um, the things you talk about change. Over time, you're not going to be talking about the same stuff. Just it's gonna be it's gonna be different. Hopefully you don't keep talking about the same stuff over and over and over and over again with everybody. But eventually these conversations are going to change, right? Well, at least we hope they are. And there's three reasons that conversations change. Now, it could be a combination of all these three. It could be one or two, or it could, but I feel like there's three reasons why a conversation would change, right? And what I mean by conversation would change is that you sit with somebody and you're talking about, I don't know, you're talking about your car, let's say. And then the next day you're talking about your vacation. I don't know. The next day you're talking about, um, I don't know, whatever. I'm running out of subjects. That's only two subjects, and I ran out. Um, so the conversation is going to change. Now, why is that? Three reasons. One is that, well, the person in front of you is going to change. You're not always going to talk to the same person or same people, right? So the people in front of you or the person in front of you, the person you're actually talking to is going to change, right? So the audience is going to change. The second thing is that your situation is going to change. Circumstance is going to change. Where you are is going to change, right? So you may be talking today, you know, as somebody that is successful and has built a business that's thriving, and then your situation may change in a couple years, and then you're finding yourself at like rock bottom. Your situation is going to change, and if your situation changes, then the conversation is going to change. It's just going to be it's going to be different. It's going to come from a, a, a different place, right? So the audience is going to change, the situation is going to change, or the circumstance is going to change. And the third thing is this. Here's another one for you. You are going to change. Have you thought about that? You are going to change. After a while, and I'll tell you about these conversations, like I said, But after a while, some of the conversations you're having with people, you're thinking to yourself, I can't last in this conversation too long. Like, I'm not having a good time. This is not feeding my soul. This is not feeding my purpose. This is not moving me forward. This is totally against my morals, beliefs, and principles. And I may not be able to say something, or I may not want to say something, or, and so you're going to change. You're going to talk about subjects 5 years ago that, their circumstances were different. You were at a different place, and you're going to talk a whole different talk than you are today, because you're not the same person. You've gone through 5 years of life, maybe hardships, maybe good ships, great ships, I don't know, whatever ships. But the point is, you are going to change. So if you combine all these three, which normally happens, right? So you got the audience that's changing, your situation is going to change, and at the same time, you are changing. Imagine the conversation then, right? Be money. What you up? What are you up for? You should not be up, but you will love this life, and the two lives that's gonna follow. But yeah, so it's the conversations with people are gonna change because the audience is gonna change, your situation is gonna change, and you are gonna change. Why are you in pain for again? Yeah, yeah. That diverticulitis is a tough one, dude. You gotta take care of that gut. You know, I'm learning so much about gut health that, obviously because of my problem. So gut health is important. They always said it's important. I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. But it's like super important. It's like very important, and I didn't even really think about that. But anyway, conversations are going to change, people are going to change, situations are going to change, you're going to change, and that is totally okay. In fact, that's a good thing. In fact, if you move it so that you're progressing, you're working on yourself, you're doing things very, very differently than you used to before, what's going to happen is that your crowd is going to change, your audience is going to change. I have some conversations with some friends that, I have changed. I know I'm kind of stepping away from that crowd, and some of these subjects and conversation pieces are, they don't do it for me anymore. You know what I mean? They just they just don't do it for me anymore. You get to a point where those conversations don't do it for you anymore. And hopefully it's because you have your progression and not just because you're like, moving back in life, right? But because of your progression, you got more knowledge, you got more wisdom, you got more experience, so that's the bottom line, right? That's the bottom line. Conversations are going to change because the audience is going to change. Situations are going to change. You're going to change. Like I said, eventually the conversations you used to have with people are just going to be like, I'm not really in that conversation anymore, because things have changed, right? And that is very, very important piece to pay attention to, because that's like a key factor in in also determining your progress as well. Because the conversations are going to change, the type of things you're going to talk about, the type of things you're going to be interested to talk about are going to change. You might be talking about, wasting time, going down the beach and drinking some beers with the boys and hanging out and doing this. And the next time you're talking, you're like, let's go get a book, or, get a, I don't know, documentary, watch that, or maybe work and get some work done and build a team or work together, or discuss some, I don't know, you know what I mean? The conversation, the type of things that everything's going to change. And hopefully it's because of progression and not because you're just down on your, on yourself and you're like thinking, oh, you know, me, you're just beating yourself up, right? Hopefully it's because of you're progressing and the people around you are not. And you're like, you know what? I got to separate myself. That's what happens. That's why conversations change. And the people that you used to talk to before about the same stuff, now they don't get you. And you don't get them a whole lot. You're like, I don't know if I used to think like that. Right? So I'm asking you to pay attention to the conversations, and if they change, that's a good thing. And take a look to see if it's changing because of your progression, or if it's because of progression, then keep progressing, right? Because these conversations are going to change and they're going to grow and they're just going to become the next level stuff. And I'm experiencing that in my life because, like I said, you know, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, I would be talking a whole different stuff than I'm talking right now with friends. Okay. So hopefully you guys get some love, some inspiration, some value out of this. Drop your thoughts, your comments below. Let this feed grow. If you feel like this is worthy of sharing, do what you got to do. Share always. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. And until tomorrow, when we do it all over again, much love.